Hey everyone, Technomentary here. In today's video, we're going to talk about the iPhone 11 going into 2026, if this phone is still worth it or not, everything you need to know, whether you're considering buying it, upgrading to it, upgrading from it, all that and much more. So let's dive into it. The iPhone 11 was released back in 2019, so this year it's going to be a 7-year-old phone, which means a lot for any devices on the market right now. But if you think about any iPhone 11 here, a couple things about the quick specs that you might want to consider is it's a 6.1-inch liquid retina LCD display, not the OLED like the newer models. It has built into it is the A13 Bionic chip, which is still capable of doing quite a bit, and it has 4 gigs of RAM. Now in terms of storage, you can get it for 64 gig, 128 gig, and even 256 gig storage. And then camera you have on the back here is a dual 12 megapixel camera, which is the wide and the ultra wide that does 4K recording. And then the front camera here, of course, you also have a front camera here. Here in the terms of battery life, you're getting a 3110 mAh battery, which gives you around 11 to 13 hours of actual usage time. Again, depending on what you're doing with it, maybe more, maybe less, as long as you're kind of watching what apps you're using. Of course, gaming apps are going to take a lot more battery than regular apps as well. Now, originally it was released on iOS 13, and now we have updated to iOS 16 on this device, so it does support the latest update. Most likely it will update to iOS 27 is our guess, but again, still up in the air if Apple will still support it or not. The one thing about this phone is that it does have a physical SIM card here. However, it doesn't have the 5G MMM, which means there is no 5G connectivity on this device. So that's kind of one of the things that's lacking, which 5G was introduced with the iPhone 12 and newer model. So how does it hold up in 2026? Like I said, everyday tasks from calling, texting, browsing, that it can be done without any issues. Even video streaming, messaging, your mail, productivity apps, those are going to work fine because it is supported. So now in terms of the camera is a decent camera. It's not going to be fancy with some of the newer cameras you have in the Pro models that have the triple camera and the main cameras as well, but it does record 4K, which is still, a decent camera for its design. Now, the iPhone 11 was quite a build, again, classic design with comfortable compared to some of the other phone if you compare it in the market during its time. However, it does have limitation, like I mentioned, just being only 4G, no 5G. LCD screen, if you're not a fan of the LCD, if you're looking for newer tech, which is the OLED and some of the newer version, and that 120 hertz refresh rate, which is impossible. It's only a 60 hertz refresh rate, and the battery life might not be as strong as some of the newer phones that we have that are rated to be almost all-day battery, like the newer iPhone 17, which can last well over a day of straight usage. Again, that's just because how old this phone is compared to some of the things that have changed since the release of this device. And of course, is it worth it or not? It's probably going to be another thing you might consider is a price point. Now you can get this phone basically pre-owned because Apple doesn't sell it any longer. And when you do get it, you're probably going to pay under $200 for this device, pre-owned, of course, which makes it a good backup or even secondary device. May not be your main choice if you're looking to go to iPhone. You probably want to jump to iPhone 14 or newer, just spending that extra little bit just so you can have more years out of it going into 2026. However, if you currently are using it, you can definitely use it without any issues, and you can, if you upgrade to it, you can definitely keep it around as a budget-friendly phone or as a backup or secondary device in case your main one, has any issues with it. And that's kind of our review from it. Again, solid choice in terms of budget secondary phone. Probably not a main phone in that sense. However, still gets the job done at a fairly priced point. So that's why I want to hear from you. What's your thought? If you used it, upgrade to it, upgraded from it, leave a comment in the comment section. And for more reviews like this, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.